Want to unlock the secrets of home ownership right from your computer? Well, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into exactly how to access Madison County, Alabama property records online completely for free. Stick around and we'll have you navigating these databases like a pro in no time. So, ready to become a DIY expert at digging up hidden property facts? A lot of people just assume looking into property records is some exclusive club for lawyers, title agents, or big shot real estate investors. But here's the reality: these are public records. Knowing how to find and read them is like having a superpower. Whether you're looking to buy your first home, scouting an investment property, or just double checking the facts on land you already own, it's absolutely crucial information. And honestly, the best part is you can do the whole shebang without ever leaving your couch. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our masterclass roadmap for today. We're going to set the stage, make sure we're avoiding the wrong county, walk through a step-by-step search guide, decode that property record data, troubleshoot system limits, and wrap up with some practical uses and next steps. Right, let's get into section 1, setting the stage, system architecture. Before we just start clicking around online, it's super important to understand why verifying ownership and checking property history is such a vital skill. Think of property records as the ultimate public scorecard. They show exactly who owns the land, the ownership history, tax obligations, and any legal claims against a property. A lot of folks hesitate to jump in because they think it's too complicated or locked behind expensive paywalls. But getting a grip on the basic system architecture clears that right up. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that number right there, $0. Accessing these specific Alabama databases cost absolutely nothing. While some third-party sites are going to try and hit you with a hefty monthly fee for property reports, Madison County gives you this access for free. You just got to know exactly where to look. Now, to search effectively, you need to understand that Alabama uses a decentralized system. So no, there isn't one magical state database that holds every single piece of paper. Instead, you have to navigate distinct local county offices. In Madison County, the workload is basically split in two. You've got the probate court, run by the judge of probate, and they handle the actual legal recording of title. We're talking deeds, mortgages, and ownership transfers. On the flip side, the tax assessor handles the property's market value, the interactive mapping, and tax exemptions. So you'll actually often find yourself using info from one office to search the records of the other. It's kind of like a giant puzzle. Moving right along to Section 2, avoiding the wrong county. Toponym collision. Okay, I really need to warn you about the biggest pitfall that trips up out-of-state researchers before they even get started. Experts actually call this a toponym collision, and this brilliantly illustrates the problem. If you just Google Madison County property records, you might think you struck gold, only to realize you're looking at a cornfield in Indiana. There's literally a Madison County in Illinois, Indiana, New York, and Georgia. And they all use totally distinct portals, like Esri, Beacon, IQS, or QPublic. It is incredibly easy to drop yourself into the wrong state map. For our purposes, Madison County, Alabama, we have to make absolutely sure we're using the KCS GIS Parcel Viewer and the County Gov Services portal. Which brings us to Section 3, Step-by-Step Search Guide, a 3-step workflow. So I'm going to guide you straight to the correct, legitimate Alabama web portals so you can avoid the scams and just get the data you need. So the crucial point is following this super simple 3-step workflow. You go from the GIS map to the tax index and finally land at the probate portal. This lets you effortlessly navigate that decentralized digital system we just talked about. Let's break down exactly how each step works in the real world. Step 1 starts right at the KCS GIS interactive map. Let's imagine a scenario. Say you're driving past this really interesting empty lot in Huntsville, or maybe a house that looks totally abandoned, but you have no clue what the street address is. No problem. You just head over to the Madison County Tax Assessor's interactive map. You can visually pan and zoom right to that exact geographic location. Once you find it and click on the parcel on the map, it spits out a unique parcel ID and a PIN. That PIN, that is your golden ticket. All right, for step 2, you grab that PIN and head over to the Madison County Property Portal, which is hosted by County Gov Services. You punch in that PIN and boom, it generates this neat little mini property report card. It'll show you the current owner's name, their mailing address, and the property's tax classification. But listen, here's the absolute most important part of this step. You need to look for the deed book and page reference numbers. Those specific numbers tell you exactly where the physical legal deed is hiding in the system. Let's move to step 3 and see how this builds into retrieving the actual legal documents. Now that you've got those essential book and page reference numbers, you hop over to the Madison County probate portal. You will need to create a free account here, but don't worry, it's quick. Once you're logged in, you literally just type in those book and page numbers, and instantly you can view, read, and even download copies of the actual recorded deeds, mortgage details, or active liens. It really is that straightforward once you know the path. Next up, Section 4, Decoding Property Record Data, Actionable Intelligence. So you've successfully found the records, they're sitting right there on your screen. But what exactly are you looking at, and how do you actually use it? Well, that property report card gives you incredible, actionable intelligence. It's not just the owner's name. You can see the exact acreage of the land, the lot dimensions, and the size and age of the building itself. You can even view the sales history to see exactly what the property sold for back in the day. This is an absolute game changer for comparing data across different properties. Let's say you're looking at a home in Harvest or Hazel Green. You can quickly compare its square footage and past sale prices against the neighbors to do your own comprehensive market analysis. You're also going to see a bunch of tax data, which honestly can be pretty confusing without the right context. In Alabama, property taxes are calculated using an assessment rate. For single-family homes, that rate is just 10%. To put that into perspective, if the tax assessor decides a home's market value is $300,000, the assessed value they actually use for taxes is only $30,000. You then multiply that $30,000 by the local millage rate, which changes depending on if you're in the city of Huntsville, Madison, or an unincorporated area, and that's how you figure out the annual property tax. Pretty neat, right? All right, let's look at Section 5, Troubleshooting and System Limits, Overcoming Roadblocks. Look, even the best researchers hit roadblocks sometimes, so here's a quick guide on how to handle common issues with these specific county websites. First off, if you try to log into the probate portal and it totally fails, check that your browser has JavaScript and cookies enabled, because their security authentication absolutely requires them. Second, some older online guides might tell you to use a site called eMaps Plus. Actually, scratch that. That system is retired and just gives you a 404 error now, so stick to the KCGIS map we talked about. Third, if you're searching by name and just getting flooded with too many results, switch to searching by the exact PIN. And finally, if you spot a glaring error in a property's value or details, the website can't help you. You'll either need to contact the tax assessor's office directly or take a physical trip down to the courthouse on North Side Square in Huntsville to get it sorted out. And that brings us to Section 6, Practical Uses and Next Steps, Applying Your Research. So how do real people actually use all this information? Well, folks utilize these records every single day to prepare for real estate investments, like checking for sneaky hidden liens, or to resolve unexpected property boundary disputes by pulling up historical plats and easements. But here is a massive pro tip, and just an incredible insider strategy. The Madison County Probate Court actually partnered with the tax assessor to offer a free property change notification system. You literally just enter your property's PIN on their website, and they'll automatically shoot you an email alert if a new deed is filed that changes the owner's name. This is a brilliant, totally free way to protect yourself against title fraud without paying some third-party company a monthly monitoring fee. It's a real game changer. Before we wrap this up, please note, this explainer is intended for informational purposes only and should not be considered legal or financial advice. While efforts were made to ensure accuracy, property laws and search availability are subject to change and may vary. Please consult legal professionals for specific guidance related to property records. So what does this all mean for you? Now that you have the exact roadmap to navigate Madison County's decentralized digital records safely and entirely for free, how will you use these insider research strategies for your own property journey? Are you going to start researching a future investment, or maybe just go snoop on your own home's data to see what's out there? Let us know. Start your own searches and be sure to share your experiences and questions in the comments below. Happy hunting!